Tired of the silence, the sugar-coated lies. Another headline screaming behind vacant eyes. They build up their walls so high and so strong, but the truth's gonna break through before too long. Every single day.
Hey, good afternoon, Dr. Rashida. How you doing?
The fingers, nobody takes the blame. This pressure's building is starting to crack. Ain't no turning back now, ain't no holding back. I'm about to say it, yeah, I'm about to scream. Tired of the fake smiles, living in a dream. The real life's bleeding out in the cold. Gotta break the mold, gotta let it unfold. I'm about to say it, every single word. The uncomfortable truth finally gonna be heard. I'm gonna say it.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? And that sounds weird saying good afternoon because I'm so used to us coming on in the morning. However, here we are, nonetheless. Court started late today. They had a later start time, so we decided to do our show late as well. Man, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing really good. I hope your day is going well. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. There's a couple of things I want to break down before not even a couple, just one thing I really want to talk about or listen to as we get ready for court to begin. I thought it began at 11, but then I heard 1, so maybe it's 1 because I can't find anything on it. So before we get deeper into the show, let's take care of our business.
Welcome to hashtag I'm Gonna Say It. All things said in today's show are alleged and for entertainment and educational purposes only. If you are below the age of 18, we request that you leave the live now. Enjoy.
Right. So at the end of our show yesterday, we had a few panel guests on, and there was some heated debate. Not necessarily heated. Everybody was cordial. Everybody was respectful, but it did highlight or did indicate just how far the sides are when it comes to Puffy Jacket's trial and what he's being accused of or charged with and things of that nature. Now, what I'm going to play and listen to, what we're all going to listen to, understand what you hear. Puffy Jacket has not admitted any guilt to any of this. He hasn't been charged with any of it. Hey, oh yeah, it's good morning for you. That's right. Hey, Marie, it's good afternoon. You was throwing me off here. It's the afternoon. But yes, nonetheless, bestie, I'm glad you're here, and I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. So when we listen to these things, I want to keep that in mind and in context that he hasn't been charged or held accountable or anything. He hadn't admitted to any guilt or having any participation in any of this. It's all alleged, which we've already done our disclaimer on the show. So there we have it. We're safe on that end. But the reason I'm actually playing it is because, like I was saying, at the end of the show yesterday, we had a few panel guests on here, and you have one person is saying like, no, these are not victims. They could leave. They decided to stay. They didn't, they wanted the money. They was enjoying the lifestyle, and this, that, and the third. And I'm not saying I'm not saying he's wrong for having his opinion on that. Everybody has their own opinion. Can't change that. No matter how much we want to, and wish we could, we can't. However, the other guests were saying, no, we are survivors, DV survivors. And we're trying to tell you the mindset that we have when we're in that situation and what all you know, it entails on just the mind state and how the abuser can tear them down mentally, physically, verbally, emotionally, all of that, right? All the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. So I keep saying to people that we're all created equal. How many of us have heard that we're all created equal? I mean, we're all different, not created equal. We are created equal, but I'm saying we're all different, right? We're all different. Like we like different things. Some people like vanilla, some people like chocolate. Some people like strawberry. Some people like apple. Some people like cherry. Some people like blueberry. You know, we're all different, but that's what makes us unique as well. Correct? So I say that because you cannot sit here and say, Jessica Smith, thank you for that heart me. I appreciate that. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining. I bring that up because we cannot sit here and say, well, I wouldn't put up with this, or I wouldn't have stayed, or I would have left. And we've never been in that situation. On top of that, we can't say that because, just as we were saying, people are different, and that's what makes us unique. So what your core strength is not my core strength. What somebody else's strength is and what they can endure is not the same thing that we can endure and put up with, right? So we can't sit here and re-victimize victims because they chose to stay. Because a lot of times, and I think one of the panel guests who is a DV survivor stated, like, we are in the mind of surviving, not leaving. Like, you got to do. We have to do what we got to do to survive. You get me? But I'm gonna play some audio, and again, I apologize if it's any harsh words in it or anything. And I also want to make sure I delegate this to you all, that what's being stated in the audio is Puffy Jacket has not admitted to any guilt on any of it. However, there's been speculation, and so when it comes to things like this, you really don't even want speculations. Like, you don't want to be involved or tied to anything like what we're going to hear. So I'm going to play it because sometimes we forget when it's been a while since we heard things, stuff like that. Chrissy, welcome to hashtag I'm going to say it. Thank you for that heart, me love. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Sometimes when we haven't heard things in a while, it's like, what's that saying? Out of sight, out of mind. El Cazon, how you doing? Thank you for that heart, me. I appreciate it. How are you? And so we haven't heard about this. I mean, we've all heard about it. Hey, big brother, thank you for that heart, me. I didn't know you was in here. How you doing today? Thank you for that heart, me. Chrissy said, hi, sorry I'm late. My MS is flaring. Haven't been my best. Oh, okay, we're going to pray for you. And listen, you here, better late than never. It's good. It's all good. It's all good. And we're going to pray that you start feeling better. My big brother says, I'm good. Got the day off. Hey, I know that's kick back and enjoy that. You work hard, big bro. So you just enjoy your time off and just rock with us today. Now, you're welcome, Chrissy. Now, we all have heard about this. We all know about it, but it hasn't been talked about as much, and so maybe people have it slipped their mind some kind of way. My big brothers are rolling up, about to listen to your show. All right, let's go, spark it. Put one in the air. Chrissy say, enjoy that, big bro. Little brother in here too. Wish I had the day off. Laugh out loud. Grand rising people. Hey, little brother, how's your day going? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play it. Like I said, we've all heard it. We've all heard the speculations about it. Like I said, he hasn't admitted to any guilt or been charged with anything. So we're not saying that. However, there is some crazy things, right? As far as him being the common denominator or common factor in all of this. Let's go.
You already know the headlines. The sex trafficking, racketeering
We love
lawsuit,
TikTok Shop.
and explosive claims from Cassie and shell-shocked ex-employees.
Savage! I'm a savage! Oh!
Civil suits against Sean Diddy
Shout out
Combs
to Hashtag
are
True
also stacking
Podcast
up like
in the
unpaid
building.
invoices.
Now, when you get niggas from the street that need that job, they gonna allow him to do whatever he wanna do. Cause he can fire them in a minute, and only job they will be getting, they won't be in the music industry.
But today's video steps out of the courthouse and into a far darker corridor, one lined with sudden deaths, drive-by bullets, and whispered confessions. For 3 decades, friends, rivals, and even lovers in Diddy's orbit have wound up injured, terrified, or dead.
Kim's dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only 2 left are Puffy and Al almost died.
So we're asking the question nobody is paying attention to. Is Diddy cursed by coincidence, or a mastermind who's been engineering violence from behind the scenes and walking away, avoiding consequences? To be clear, none of the murders and attempted murders you're about to hear about have resulted in criminal
Love
charges
TikTok
against
Shop.
Combs. Yet the pattern is impossible to ignore, and eyewitness accounts keep sharpening the rumor into something more plausible.
I'm gonna pause it real quick because, like he just said, the patterns are hard to ignore. And yes, little bro, we love TikTok Shop so much. It is the greatest place to buy all of the products that you need. Shop with TikTok Shop. Hey, we talked about the pattern of behavior. I've been saying that over and over, the pattern of behavior. Peace and blessings to you, my brother. I've been saying it over and over. It's the pattern of behavior. That's what they are building the charges that he have against. They're building the foundation of pattern of behavior. Then they're going to build to the case on that, right? So the fact that he said that is vital, right? Because like we was talking about, pattern of behavior. Now, let's get going.
In today's video, we lay out every incident, 8 bodies, countless bullet holes, and probe the psychology of power, paranoia, and control that surrounds Sean Diddy Combs. Decide for yourself whether coincidence explains it all, or whether a darker orchestration has been hiding in plain sight.
That was funny.
December 28th, 1991. Sean Combs was a 22-year-old up-and-comer helping organize a celebrity charity basketball game at the City College of New York. The event, co-promoted with rapper Heavy D, was massively over capacity.
People was already crowded out there and it was crazy. So I finagled my way in there, me and Slick and them. I said, yo, I told Puff right then and there, I say, Puff,
DJ
if
Zay,
they
how's
don't
it
do
going,
a
brother?
boxing one outside and get these kids off the door,
Yes, he
somebody's
has.
gonna die
Hashtag
tonight.
True
He
Podcast.
said, Gene, don't worry about that.
City College was a deep experience for me. I was there, I was on the floor, I watched people take their last breath, regurgitate, and die.
As the party promoter, Combs quickly came under scrutiny. Victims' families alleged gross negligence, that Combs and Heavy D had oversold tickets, failed to hire adequate security, then took the money, ran downstairs, and shut the door, effectively trapping the crowd. Combs was never criminally charged for the incident, but multiple civil wrongful death lawsuits ensued.
You don't cut security to save $1. You don't cut security when security is the most important thing that you gotta have at these places. And that's what he did.
Pause. We're gonna deep dive. Into okay. So we've discussed the incident at City College back in 1991, right? We talked about that, right? Natty, welcome in. Thank you for that heart me. I appreciate that, bestie. We've talked about that. But listen. Little bro said, deep dive. Right. We're gonna deep dive. Listen, I just wanna point out some similarities. All right, and this is 1991, City College. Before we go any further, our condolences still go out to their family, the 9 individuals that lost their lives. Their families and our respective families are in our prayers. And our condolences still go out to them. Now, did you hear what one of his former security guards just said? One of Puffy Jacket's former security guards just said, cut the security, the manpower to keep everybody safe that's at this party, at this event. Cut the manpower, the security, in hopes of getting more people in here, only to get more money. Now, hold on. You say, Mr. Breaking News, well, where are you going with this? Okay, so now, cut the security detail down at this event. 9 lives were lost at that event, correct? Now, let's fast forward to March 9th, 1997, when the greatest rapper of all time was in Los Angeles. Now, the same former security guard told him we need more security detail out here. We are in hostile territory. And Puffy Jacket didn't listen. And we lost the life of the notorious B.I.G. Same pattern of behavior. Not listening to you. Now, you hire people as security guards to protect you and protect, work your events and make sure everybody's safe and all that. But so this is the second time he cut security detail. So let's just, for my mathematicians in here, because I'm not good at math, but 1991, City College. Packed venue, sold out event, and I've already met capacity. When you at a venue, you have a capacity limit. He already met that. But there was still a whole bunch of people outside, waiting to come in, not knowing that it's already reached its max capacity and nobody else is going to come in. Why? Because now, instead of having, and the radio stations, they were promoting this as well. So the common practice should have been to put the call out to the radio stations, hey, it's closed, we can't let nobody else in. But he didn't, because he wanted more money. So now, cut security. Look, I'm cutting security in half, or cutting it down, because I don't want to have to pay more money out for more security. So I'm just going to carry this amount. Now, your head security guard comes to you and tell you, hey, we need more security, we need more detail. And you say, nah, I'm not going to do that. This is just what I'm going to use, this little bit right here, instead of listen. And so we lose 9 individuals. That's 9. So you fast forward to 1997, March 9th, 1977. This same security guard telling, hey, we need more security detail out here in LA. They coming after us. We're in hostile territory. We need more security. And he says, no. Puffy Jacket says no. And we lose another life. That's 10. And we hadn't even got started good yet. Again, allegedly. He hasn't been charged with any of these. We are just pointing out some coinkydinks, if you will.
He didn't listen. And what happened? 9 people died that night. I'm pumping on the chest of a little 17-year-old boy. How would you feel?
Combs never apologized publicly to the families and seemingly moved on, emboldened by having dodged serious consequences. The City College stampede would later be seen as the first in a series of violent acts surrounding Combs that defined his rise.
Hey, we need to post that link.
In the early
And I don't know
1990s,
why
Combs was a
didn't show
hungry
your
intern turned talent director at Uptown Records. Working under founder Andre Harrell, Combs was ambitious and aggressive. In 1993, that drive led to a clash
Okay,
of
thank you.
egos. Andre fired Combs from Uptown, later saying, "There can't be two kings in one castle."
When I fired him, it was like I had an artist in the building, right? Because Puff, as an executive, he really is a very artistic guy. He can make videos, he can style. So I started to branch out in the movies and the television. So then Puff wouldn't really listen to anybody but me. So my full-time job became managing Puff. And I was doing other things. So even when I let Puff go, for the whole time he was let go, he was always on payroll. I never stopped paying him until he found his next spot. His artists were always still getting per diem. Because I didn't do it to hurt him, but I knew it was time for him to grow. And the only way he could grow was if he was going to have the same kind of corporate conversations that I was subjected to.
Being cut loose proved momentous. Within months, Combs founded Bad Boy Records, instantly changing the hip-hop landscape. Combs began assembling a roster of talent. Among his first signees were a streetwise Brooklyn rapper named Christopher Wallace, the notorious B.I.G., and a promising Long Island MC, Craig Mack. Bad Boy's early success cemented Combs' reputation as a hitmaker.
I named it Bad Boy because I wanted to go against the grain. Anytime you go against the grain, they consider you like kind of bad. I didn't want to be regular. I didn't want to just make records. I didn't want to just make money. I wanted to make history.
It says
By 1995, Bad Boy Records was on top, propelled by Biggie's success. Craig Mack, whose platinum single had helped put Bad Boy on the map, was noticeably absent from the victory lap.
The single of the year is Flavian Year, Craig Mack. Craig Mack, he's close in the house, yeah!
Behind the scenes, Mack was desperate to escape Combs' influence.
Puff didn't like him for whatever reason he didn't. He told Craig, yo, if you don't fire your manager, nigga, you can't work for Bad Boy. Craig said, yo, listen here, man, I'm not changing my manager just because you want to. Because Craig wanted his money for his music. Puff said, yo, I don't want that kid no more. Not at all. I was right there when he said that.
Pause. Craig Mack says, I'm not making no more songs until you owe me money. I want my money. Now, how many artists that were signed to the Bad Boy record label has came out and stated that they didn't get their money that was due to them? I know the Locks got onto him. They got at him about it on a live radio interview. Right? #True Podcast says I sent you a link on interview Puffy Jacket's Bodyguards. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. I'll check it out after the show for sure. I appreciate that. They got at it. The people in making the band, they've talked about it. And if you remember, right before all of this came out, right before all this court stuff and the raids and everything hit the airways, remember he was trying to give everybody back their what you call it? I can't think. Not royalty. Publishing. And they were like, man, but it ain't worth the same as it was back then, And then some people, the rights. That's right, rights. Thank you, the rights. Thank you. Shout out to Jessica Smith on that. The rights. Thank you. To their music. And so everybody's he's doing the right thing and he's being modest. No. Because the value of it wasn't the same. Dang, it says, okay, Natty says it's about 13 unalive surrounding Puffy Jacket. I sent the link. My girl. I appreciate that. Checking that out for sure. For sure. So I'm stopping and I'm saying this because now you got to remember, we back in what, 93, 94. And this was going on in the early 2000s. That's a long time to be playing with people's money. Derek Shelton's masters. You see what I'm saying? So again, a leopard doesn't change its spots.
Decades later, it emerged that Craig Mack himself harbored dark stories. In a 2018 interview unearthed after his death, Mack described a dispute with an unnamed music executive that turned threatening.
Yo, you owe us an album. And I'm like, excuse my French, but you owe me money. You know what I'm saying? So if you come up with the rest of the dough, then we can come up with the rest of the album.
Fair enough.
No dough, no records.
Fair enough.
It. I don't think you know what you mean when you're saying that, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what type of dude I am.
Fact, stop, hold, wait. What did Craig say that he told him? And yeah, he didn't say the name, but we all know. We're not going to play. We know who he's talking about. What did he say that Puffy Jacket told him? You must not know what you're saying. You don't know who I am, what I do. Now listen, it's not a direct threat, right? It's not a direct threat. Like, he didn't go into detail on what he meant by it. But come on now, we not slow. We know when you give somebody that warning and y'all are in a disagreement over some money, we know what they getting at, man. So what are we hearing now? Trying to intimidate people, witnesses, intimidate people not to come forth and talk about what he done to them as far as the crimes that he allegedly done to them, right?
You know what kind of muscle I got? You know what I'm saying? Right now, you need to be in the studio.
You know what kind of muscle I got? That means, because I'm speaking for the people who really may not know the lingo. You know what kind of muscle I got? That means I got people that'll put hands on you. I got people that can do some harm to you. I got people which goes into already, and this is the 90s, I think, when this situation happened, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it was the 90s. So, yeah, because Craig was off the record label. Okay, so listen, back in the night, what did he say? You don't know the muscle I got out there. It's already showing a criminal enterprise. Dimple Cheeks, hey love, how you doing? I know you are. I'm with you. I'm with you on it. So that already shows, that already establishes he out of his mouth, he told Craig Mack this, according to Craig Mack. So that shows that he already had a criminal enterprise. If you don't get in here to the studio and make this music like I'm telling you, it's going to be some consequences. That's what sounds like a threat to me. Sounds like a threat to me.
So I said, all right, meet me up there at 7 o'clock. And I went and got one of my gunmen. My man, I'm not going to mention his name either. He came with me up there. Okay? And they saw him and they fell back because they were going to do something to me.
Craig Mack never publicly named the individual who threatened him. But given the timeline, his acrimonious bad boy exit, many fans and insiders suspected he was alluding to Combs. Mack's story, while not proven to involve Combs in any violence, set the tone for what was about to happen next. November 30th, 1994, a shocking act of violence further entangled Combs' world. Rising rap star Tupac Shakur arrived at Manhattan's Quad Recording Studios, a Bad Boy-affiliated studio, to record with a friend of Biggie's. As Tupac entered the lobby, gunmen ambushed him, shooting him multiple times.
The people who knew what was going to happen to Pac was in the part of the Quad studio with Jimmy Hitchman, and that was Andre Harrell and Puff. So Puff knew.
Tupac survived the attack, but the aftermath would alter hip-hop history.
Those are fighting words.
Things that I can say that will back up my claim, but
it's fighting words. You say what you mean what you say, and you said what you said. Get it? Look, I got that muscle, man. I got that muscle. You don't want to play with me. Get in here and make these songs. You get me? We already have threats, intimidation, although Craig Mack wasn't intimidated, um, we already have these going on long before we even got to where we are now in court. Hashtag True Podcast says words of a kingpin, exactly like the leader of a criminal organization. Hey, dog, you don't want to do what I want you to do, man? I can just place one call. We got a commercial here. I don't know. I can't remember what's the attorney, but he says, one call. That's all. We know.
This is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it ain't happening, that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody.
In the wake of Tupac's accusations, lines were drawn. Bad Boy, Combs and Biggie, representing the East, and Death Row, Knight and Tupac, representing the West. The feud became intensely personal. Tupac began taunting and threatening Biggie and Combs in songs and interviews. Combs and Biggie, for their part, felt under siege. By late 1995, both sides were surrounded by armed entourage members and muscle, and the atmosphere was ominous. As the feud gained momentum, violence was not confined to lyrics. On September 23, 1995, a pivotal and deadly confrontation occurred far from New York or Los Angeles. In Atlanta, at an after-party hosted by producer Jermaine Dupri, both Combs and Suge Knight happened to attend with their crews that night. A volatile mix.
Jermaine Dupri hit security.
Oh, that's who it is? Okay. Hashtag True Podcast. You know what I'm talking about. One call, that's all.
He came right in and slapped the out of Jermaine Dupri. Bah! And Puff was standing right there, and he snatched Puff with one hand. Suge had him with one hand and was shaking him. They walked to the limo. All of a sudden, somebody started shooting across the street. I could see the dude just busting. Pop, 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 pop. They were called the play for the overlay. They started shooting across the street to make everybody look. We looked. The dude came out of nowhere and just touched Jake.
Okay, let me pause right there because a lot of people don't know what the street lingo is. So I'm gonna let them know, little big brother. I'm gonna talk about it for a minute. So the play for the overlay. That means you're gonna make a play, which means you are going to do something elsewhere to create a distraction. The overlay is going to be, it means while you're over there creating a distraction, your mans or your homies or your homegirls and all that, they gonna take care of what y'all came to really take care of. You see what I'm saying? So you basically creating a distraction so everybody else can be focused on what's going on over your way, while the rest of your crew, put the work in, for lack of better terms.
The murder of Big Jake poured gasoline on the East-West fire. Investigators later called it the primary catalyst for a bi-coastal feud between Combs and Knight. Suge Knight was convinced that Combs had effectively put a hit on his friend. At Big Jake's funeral, Knight openly blamed Bad Boy for the tragedy, further entrenching the animosity. From this point on, any pretense of mere music industry rivalry was gone. It was war. 1 year later, on September 7th, 1996, Tupac Shakur was gunned down in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, a brazen assassination that shook the world. Tupac's murder, coming after multiple public death threats traded between camps, immediately raised suspicions. Las Vegas police had few leads initially, but in the streets, rumors circulated that Sean Combs had quietly put a bounty on Tupac's head in revenge for all the trouble he caused. It sounded like a rap conspiracy theory.
Pause. We don't have the facts. We don't know for sure. There's been speculations. And there's a lot of breadcrumbs that lead to the pond where the ducks are, if you really go down that rabbit hole, so to speak, right? But nonetheless, he hasn't been charged with anything, just been mentioned. And like we said before we started the video, these are things you really don't want your name associated with if you didn't do anything. Like if you're not, but so I can't remember Keefe D's name, but he says, you know, he put the meal on the on Pac's head. So allegedly, he did that. So here we are again, another a life taken.
Until a man on the inside spoke up years later.
We'll wipe their ass out quick. You know, it's nothing.
Who brought up the amount of $1 million?
Shit, he did.
Puffy did?
Yeah.
Okay. Wasn't you?
No, it wasn't me. I'll shit. $1 million out there. Yeah, take it for
He said, I do it for 50.
You know what I'm saying?
50,000.
So he brought up them $1 million.
Yeah.
When he looks over at you, and then, you know, Tupac's busy getting shot.
We love Tupac shot.
The story is Tupac's trying to either get out
in the back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside their car?
I seen a bullet going straight ahead. I thought
yeah, salt and pepper for real.
So Orlando shot across Dre?
He leaned over and the window rolled down, the window popped. Who was it? They would have drove on my side, I would have popped. You know what I'm saying? But they was on the other side. Right.
In 2018, retired LAPD detective Greg Kading, who had led a task force on the Biggie and Tupac cases.
Hold on, I just want y'all to know, I see y'all talking about salt and pepper, and how y'all have salt and pepper in your age, and it's funny, I'm trying not to laugh. I just want you to know that. But I'm reading
went
your
on
comments.
record supporting Keefe D's account.
So immediately in the aftermath, Diddy hears about the shooting, finds out that there's, Tupac's been shot and is in the hospital. And according to Keefe D, he gets a phone call. He's actually with Zip, the intermediary, and they're back in LA, and Zip takes a phone call, and it's Puffy on the other end of the line, hands the phone to Keefe D, and Puffy asks him, man, is that us?
Pause. So let me walk you all through that. Now, so it's been stated that a lot of times Puffy Jacket would hire security in LA. He would hire C-Rips. I guess I could say that. C-Rips. Put that together. To protect him while he was in LA and stuff like that, right? So, allegedly, according to Keefe D, when they did what they done to Pac, September 7th, 1996. Summer, how you doing? Thank you for that heart me. I appreciate it. Welcome to hashtag I'm gonna say it. Welcome to the show. How you been doing? So, when he says that he got a call from Puffy Jacket and said, was that us? It's referring to, did we get the job done? Did the hit go like we planned it to? Are we responsible? Is that what our deal was? Is that what that was? That's what he means by, was it us? Okay?
So, what just happened out there? Keefe D's like, yeah, it's us.
However, when Keefe D's claims finally became public in a Las Vegas grand jury proceeding in
Melissa,
2023,
you made it
they
in. How you
reignited
doing?
the conversation. Combs was not charged or named in that indictment. Only Keefe D was charged as an accomplice to murder. Yet the implication was clear.
TikTok Shop.
For those predisposed to believe Combs harbored a deadly streak, here was a first-hand witness tying him to the most infamous rap killing in history.
Okay, just watching and listening? Okay.
Less than
I got
6
you,
months
Summer.
after Tupac's death, tragedy struck Combs' own inner circle. On March 9th, 1997, Christopher Wallace,
doing good?
aka
Good,
the
Melissa.
notorious
Good,
B.I.G.,
sweetheart.
was murdered in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles. Biggie was not only Combs' flagship artist and best friend, he was like a little brother to Combs.
Clyde Davis and them had spent a lot of money to make Big into a superstar. If somebody write up a contract from another record label, Capitol, Atlantic, who you think they gonna tell first? They gonna tell the other head, your boy coming over here, Clark Kent, the DJ, who's also a vice president of Motown Records at one time, said, I was in Big's room that night before he got murdered. And
We love
I
TikTok
asked him
Shop.
what he was going to do. He said, D-Rock and Puff set this party up for me to...
I'm gonna pause it right there. Hey, big brother, I sent you a song by Bob Fresh. You emailed it to me? I'm gonna pause it right there because D-Rock was Biggie's best friend before he became an artist. And when Biggie started to be successful in the music industry, he kept his homies with him. But now, as you just heard the former security guard say, D-Rock helped Puffy Jacket, lure, basically, I'm paraphrasing, but basically, lure Biggie to the party. Remember, Kirk Burroughs and DJ Clark Kent said that Big was supposed to be in London. Kirk Burroughs told him, Kirk Burroughs said that Puffy Jacket told him, I don't care what you got to do. Big doesn't go to London. Okay? So here we are. And now, D-Rock was part of Puffy Jacket's security after this. Right, little brother? He says sometimes it be the ones you're close to I'm trying to tell you, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. So after his mans get unalived, and everybody pretty much feel Puffy Jacket had a hand in that, he's rewarded by being head of security, or not head on the security detail team for Puffy Jacket. Come on, man.
Go to. I said, Puff, I got some intel. The guys are coming to kill us tonight.
We love TikTok Shop.
At the museum party. He said, Gene, I don't want to hear that. He said, you ain't got to go if you don't want to go. You know Pac just got killed.
We love
it ain't
TikTok
no
Shop.
kind of business Big was doing. Big couldn't even walk. He couldn't run. Puff ain't want none of that beef. So what I'm going to do is, y'all want the sheep? I'm going to put him out the pasture. Catch him if you can. If you got that wolf in you, catch him if you can. Why in the hell you would put your man in a situation? There's plenty of places Big could have been. Why the West Coast?
The murder of Biggie Smalls devastated Combs. In tears, Combs told reporters that Biggie's
Good question, though. Is it not?
loss was beyond a nightmare.
As soon as them shots went off, everything came crashing down.
How do you carry on this legacy? I wanted to make sure that this dream meant something at the end of the day, because this young man, lost his life throughout this journey.
Man, listen, I can't even listen. Just hearing that, I'm gonna tell you all. Hearing that makes me. Okay, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not because I'm judging. Okay, so let me put it to you this way. Hearing what he just said, and then seeing the apology that he gave after he said that Cassie was lying, and y'all know that the footage came out and we saw, and then he came out and he was in a dark place at that time, which we know it was a lie because he liked the rooms to be red, but we digress. But in any event, he was in a dark place, right? And he was just so sad he need help. Him need help. He don't know. Well, he got all that money. You could have got all the help you needed and more, and got 5 other people some help that needed it. So, and we said that was the worst apology we've seen. And so, and of course, a couple of days ago, the girl he was dating at the time, Gina, was saying, yeah, once it came out, everybody huddled together, him and his family, and they huddled together and tried to come up with an apology. Let me tell you, if you got to get a group of people together and say,
man, this thing done came out. They got it on TV and everything. And so, because I just said that she was lying. It was just a money grab. And I couldn't wait to clear my name, for the truth to come out so I could clear my name. And, I was in the room with old girl, and, my son came to the door, and he...
Hey, Dad. We got problems. Oh,
Yo, Pops, we got problems. Yeah, something happened. On CNN, it's a video of you, and you hitting Cassie repeatedly. A lot. It's bad.
So we need to all come together. And I need help with an apology. Because I'm really not sorry. As a matter of fact, I probably want to go hit her now again for letting this come out.
So when you have to get a group of people together and say, yo, we need to come up with can y'all help me form an apology? I don't even know how to apologize. Can we come up with an apology? Because I need it to be sincere. Because really, I don't give a if you get the GPS and you put in, where is Puffy Jackets, you won't be able to find it. You get me? So we all need to huddle up. We all need to huddle up, and everybody need to give me some ideas to write this apology, because I just said I didn't do this and she was lying, and people can see that I did it. And then they're going to find out that I bought the tape that wasn't posted. Hey, matter of fact, I got questions.
Who in this room leaked the video? I bought the video. How is there another video? Who got the video? I thought Polly, you were supposed to make sure that we had the only video. Well, if you made sure we had the only video, how is the video on CNN, Polly?
Get me? Get me? So when I see this, oh man, you know, when I heard the shots, everything just came crashing down. And get the...
To the public, Combs presented himself as the grieving mentor who lost his brightest star. Yet in private, some bad boy insiders later questioned the decisions made that night. Why were Biggie's security arrangements apparently more lax than Combs's? Could Combs have done more to discourage Biggie from coming to LA at all, given the known risks? Those doubts linger quietly,
Am I
adding
wrong?
to the portrait of a man whom
True
tragedy
Podcast.
seems
Am
to
I lying?
follow. Or, as cynics would argue, a man who somehow always sidesteps the worst of it.
Now we in 1999.
By the end of the 1990s, Sean Puffy Combs was at the pinnacle of fame. A Grammy-winning artist himself, a wealthy entrepreneur, and an A-list celebrity dating actress and singer, Jennifer Lopez. But violence would visit Combs's orbit yet again on December 27, 1999, inside Club New York. This time placing Combs directly in the eye of a criminal investigation. On that night, Combs and Jennifer Lopez were VIP guests at the Manhattan nightclub, joined by Combs's newest protege, a 21-year-old rapper from Brooklyn named Jamal Shine Barrow. In the early hours, an altercation broke out when another club-goer allegedly made a derogatory comment toward Combs. Words were exchanged, and suddenly Shine pulled out a gun and began firing into the crowded club, purportedly to defend his mentor's honor. 3 bystanders were struck by bullets and wounded. Pandemonium erupted as people ducked for cover, and Combs, Lopez, and their entourage sprinted out of the club. They fled in Combs's SUV, but after a short high-speed chase, police pulled them over. Prosecutors charged Shine with multiple counts of assault and attempted murder, and charged Combs with gun possession and bribery.
He should have known better than to pull out that gun.
We love TikTok Shop.
And start shooting. He should have known better. Puff had enough security there, and that night, Wolf, his people, and a couple security guards, if they needed to do that, let them take care of that. So he has to take responsibility for his own action, which I think he's done. Did Puff ruin his life? Yeah, because Puff helped the prosecutor put Shine behind bars by getting the witnesses and giving them to the prosecutor so Shine could have that fall.
Pause. So now listen. So now, he didn't even face any consequences or repercussions for that. Even though the lady herself said, I saw who me in my face. It was Puffy Jacket. But he already had gotten some people together and served as witnesses and went into court on his behalf and got Shine convicted. And then what happened? What happened? Once Shine did his 10 years and got out, what happened? What happened, people? He had Shine sent back to wherever the islands or wherever he came from. I can't remember exactly where it is. Right, but then he want to hug Shine and stuff and act like everything is okay. Oh, man, you know, he ain't... Listen, I'm just going to put it to you this way. I'm not sorry that he's sitting in a courtroom facing these things that he's facing. Because truth be told, there's a lot more he should be facing that he got away with. Right? So you can only try your luck so much. But we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. I'm going to wrap this up. Hold on. We're going to keep going, though.
I was defending him, and he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me, and he pretty much sent me to prison. That is the context by which you must always describe that relationship. Yes, I forgave, I moved on, but let us not pretend as if I was in Miami for Thanksgiving. This is someone who destroyed my life.
In June 2001, Shine was convicted on multiple counts of assault, reckless endangerment, and gun possession, though he was cleared of attempted murder. The judge sentenced Shine to 10 years in prison. Combs walked out of court a free man, emotionally thanking God and proclaiming his innocence, while his young artist went off to serve a decade behind bars for the violence committed that night. After the turbulent late 90s and early 2000s, Combs managed to avoid public violence for a long stretch. He expanded his business empire and settled into life as a family man and hip-hop elder statesman. But in November 2018, a personal tragedy struck that once again put Combs at the center of dark speculation. Kim Porter, Combs' longtime former partner and the mother of 3 of his children, was found dead at her Los Angeles home. Porter was only 47 and had been in apparent good health. The coroner's official report ruled her death as lobar pneumonia, stating she had been suffering flu-like symptoms for days. To the world, it seemed a tragic natural death, yet almost immediately, whispers arose, questioning if there was more to the story.
He said, yo, get out the car, Barnes, and I got out the car. And next thing I knew...
This is Roger Barnes. This is another security guard of his. So he spent a lot of time with Puffy Jacket. So this is his words.
I seen the car rumbling, shaking. I opened up the door and said, yo, we in front of the Beverly Hills Hotel. So then Kim got out the car, she fixed her hair, and she said, I want to explain. Put your hands on me again, and you're going to have to explain this scratch that I'm about to put on your face. And Kim got to the point where she wasn't going for it. She wasn't having it. She knew that if she at least fought back, that it was a chance that she could leave a mark on him.
So for those who say, why did Cassie stay? Why did Gina stay? All these women stayed. They didn't leave. Kim stayed. Kim stayed. I know what you're going to say, but they had kids. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is people have a threshold that they have to reach. And when they reach that threshold, that's when they're out. Doesn't mean that she stayed because of the money. Because Kim Porter was acting. She was in the music industry as well. She worked in the music industry as well. Her first baby father was a outstanding artist in the 80s. So I don't think she was hurting for anything as far as when it came to money. Right? Yeah, she came back and stayed. JSF 306, thank you. Came back and stayed. So we gonna come on.
And if she left a mark on him, he had a lot of explaining to do of what that mark was about.
Insecurities
Anytime a man would go out his way to wiretap someone's phone or put taps in their homes just to monitor their conversation, that's a sign of insanity. So when you see someone doing that, what do you think he's going to do if he found her on the phone talking to someone and or feels that she's cheating on him or somebody sleeping with his girl? What you think he's going to say? Ooh, I caught you. Ooh, I heard this. Nah, he's going to come in with the, it's going to be a fight.
Did you all hear that? The ones who think that the victims stayed, they chose to stay. They did. Listen, no. Just listen. I know. I said we're gonna wrap it up. I'm not gonna stop it no
Kim
more.
was fine the day before and the day of her death, and then now she found in the bed dead from pneumonia. That just don't sound right, bro. That don't sound right at all. I don't think nobody in America thinks nothing suspicious about Kim's death, bro. If you are rich like that, Kim had a net worth of like, what, 12 million a year or something like that?
12 million a year, so wasn't the money.
Any doctor
Billy,
to come over and look at her.
how you doing? Thank you
Everything
for
is
that heart, me.
suspicious about
Thank you
her
for the
death,
rose.
bro.
I
And don't
appreciate
think
that.
an autopsy was done on her, and if it was a half-assed job. What I really believe is that they might got into a little spat, a little fight, something went down, and Puff did that play fighting stuff that he always do, and that pillow fighting stuff, and probably smothered her.
Porter died just days before she reportedly planned to share detailed information with a biographer about her life with Combs. Unverified reports claimed she had a laptop or flash drive filled with stories. Was she perhaps writing a tell-all book? Kim Porter joins a list of people once close to Combs who died shockingly or under unusual circumstances. She was also, notably, someone who knew Combs' secrets, personal and professional. In May 2020, music executive Andre Harrell, the very man who had given Combs his start and fired him at Uptown Records, died suddenly of heart failure at age 59. Harrell's passing, from all official accounts, was due to natural causes. He had a history of heart problems, and there was no indication of anything nefarious. Far more pointed were the events that befell Al B. Sure, the R&B singer who had been raising questions about Kim Porter's death. In 2022, Al B. Sure was working on a documentary project tentatively titled Surviving Diddy, or according to some reports, contributing to the Peacock documentary Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. Then, in the summer of 2022, Al B. Sure suddenly fell gravely ill. He slipped into a 2-month coma due to unspecified organ failure, nearly dying before he finally recovered.
He fell into a coma. Well, he had a catastrophic medical emergency, but he is back.
There were so many things going on to the point where they were considering sending me to hospice. And what people don't truly understand unless you've been through this type of medical journey is taking for granted breathing, tying your shoes, speaking.
He claimed that there had been a sophisticated PR campaign to shut him down and a bounty on his head for speaking out.
And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma.
He directly suggested that Combs or his affiliates were responsible for his medical emergency, implying he may have been poisoned or harmed to keep him quiet. It's a dramatic claim, and to be...
I know I said I wasn't going to stop it again, but I want to point things out. So now, this is the reason why Kim Porter was telling Mr. Shore not to cause any problems and things like that, to protect him and their son. Because I know a lot of people have heard that, well, Mr. Shore wasn't a good dad to his son and anything like that, and the media put that out there. And I want you to know that Puffy Jacket has an ability to control what comes out too. He has people that he can pay to get certain stories out. Certain stories, he can make sure certain stories don't come out. So, from the mouth of Miss 67, good morning. Well, it's good afternoon for us, but good morning to you. Thank you for joining, by the way. he's already said, look, I love my son. I've always loved my son. But this is just what me and his mother, she didn't want anything to happen or go wrong, which, as we see, did happen. So I just want to point that out.
To be clear, there is no hard evidence disclosed to support the idea that Combs had anything to do with Al B. Shure's medical episode.
Hey, Keith, Metro Police, come over here. Hey, man.
We are here today to announce the arrest of 60-year-old Dwayne Keith Davis, a.k.a. Keefy D, for the murder of Tupac Shakur.
I'm innocent. I ain't killed nobody.
In a twist of fate, the long-dormant Tupac Shakur murder case roared back to life in 2023, and at the center of it is Dwayne Keefy D. Davis, the same man who decades earlier pointed the finger at Combs. Las Vegas police, armed with new evidence and Keefy D's own myriad confessions over the years, finally arrested Keefy D and charged him with Tupac's murder. As of 2025, Keefy D stands indicted and has pleaded not guilty. He is the only living suspect among the 4 men believed to be in the car that night in 1996. This development has once again shone a spotlight on the alleged Combs connection. In the court filings accompanying Keefy D's indictment, police explicitly referenced his past interviews about Combs, including the claim that Combs offered anything for Knight's head and the $1 million bounty story. Keefy D's impending trial raises 2 tantalizing possibilities. Will he testify in open court about Combs' alleged role in Tupac's murder? And if so, will this lead to any formal investigation of Combs at long last for those events? It's too early to tell, but for the first time, one of the central figures in this violent history is facing a jury. A man who believes he is untouchable might take ever greater risks to maintain his throne. In conclusion, the portrait that emerges is of a man who built a shiny public empire, but who in the shadows may have thrived in intimidation, deception, and perhaps worse. Across the years, Combs has projected the mantra, "bad boy for life," an almost prophetic slogan given the trail of bad situations orbiting his life. The allegations detailed here remain unproven, but there is no smoking gun tying Sean Diddy Combs to murder or deliberate malice in a court of law.
We love TikTok Shop.
Yet the pattern, the college stampede, the feared executive, the studio ambush, the nightclub shooting, the sudden deaths, the eerie warnings, forms a narrative arc too dramatic for any fiction. It's the story of a man who rose to power amid violence and who, rightfully or wrongfully, has been suspected of harboring a darker potential for criminal behavior just beneath his charismatic surface. If you've enjoyed this
Okay, so that's the end. Now, I played that because now I want to ask, I want you, after hearing that, I want everybody to ask them